and what I'm trying to do. I'm Sarah Ilsworth. I'm from the Bay Area. I've been hooping for about, I'd say a little over a year. But
Oh,
you were, yeah, you were. I think the first video I ever saw online was the video of you, in your purple and green. You had dreadlocks, and you were doing the video to that song by Goten Project. Yeah, yeah, that was a
it's
really
a
awesome
running
video.
theme. That's a running theme that I hear that from a lot of people, which is really great.
Got some questions from a bunch of people in the hooping community that I was gonna go ahead and ask you. So, how long have you been hooping? Like, when did you start? Where did you train?
So I've been hooping for I'm going into my ninth year this year.
Wow, that's
So
congratulations. Wow.
thank you. I have my anniversary next year, right? My big 10 years. Um,
Yeah.
so I first started actually it's kind of random because I was living in the south of England and I don't know if you've ever heard of a hula hooper called Angie Mack.
No, I have not.
She's an English girl. She's a traditional circus hula hooper, and she basically ended up doing a video competition where have you heard of the DJ Fatboy Slim?
Yes, I have.
So Fatboy Slim did a video competition where he wanted people to produce a video to a song of his that involved juggling. And Angie Mack was living in the same town that I did. She wanted to submit a video that involved hula hooping, which isn't actually juggling. But anyway, so she made a video and she needed a bunch of extras for the video to hula hoop in the background of the video. And so somehow through a friend I ended up doing this. And it was really funny because they asked me, they were like, okay, so we just need you to be able to hula hoop around your waist for a minute. And I was like, I don't know if I can do that. That seems really difficult, you know?
Yeah.
And I ended up being on the video set a whole day and I was practicing with the hula hoop and I just loved it. I absolutely just loved it. So walked off the set that day with my very own hula hoop and I
Wow.
just didn't stop hula hooping from that moment on. Um, and so eventually, I mean, ended up joining a circus less than a year later and actually just becoming a circus performer, even though I was actually really shit. And and then after that, I ended up going to circus. I signed up for a circus school, so I ended up getting a degree in circus with a major in hula hooping. But I
Wow.
don't hula hooping for loads of years before I even did that. It was just trying to just always get better at it.
That's amazing. That I didn't even know any of that about you. That was so awesome.
Random.
That's so cool that you just like came upon hula hooping like that one day. I can kind of resonate. I it kind of just stumbles into your life. It definitely has made my life a lot better and a lot more sane. But that's so cool that you have, we have similar interests, and that's nice to hear. Um, so I guess like another question is what kind of requirements do you have to get a certificate, to get a degree in circusing? That sounds really interesting.
I got to sort of worm my way in a little bit by just being really dedicated to hula hooping. And so,
Yeah.
the thing about the circus, it doesn't like you have people in there from all walks of life, right? So
Mhm.
that's the way how I wangled my way in there. But I was lucky that the school that I applied to accepted me because a lot of schools they wouldn't have because I wasn't an acrobat. So
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't even look like, every time I watch you, you're so in the zone, in your flow and in your videos. You're so professional, and it's so beautiful to watch you. It's unreal. You can just see you're on a completely different plane of existence when you're hula hooping. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It feels like
Um,
that.
so, you said you've been training for 9 years. That's crazy.
A lot of hula hooping separations, especially doing the multiple hooping, without really learning how to engage my core. So therefore, I really injured my back a lot. I did do a lot of stretching, but I kind of just, I didn't really know what I was doing very well, I suppose, because most of the stuff I just learned off YouTube, like most people, So
Yeah.
I had some really serious back injuries where I just couldn't do any more multi hoop separations on my body, which is just make which then forced me into doing the hoop separation just only on my arms and only on my legs and just not using my entire midsection at all because it just would hurt too much. Um, so yeah, I think that's a huge thing. So I'm only just getting over that. It's only maybe been like 6 months ago I could start training like 5 to 6 hoop separations on just my torso and my legs again. And I hadn't been able to do that for maybe 2 or 3 years because I
Oh,
was just
wow.
so yeah, there's a lot of I end up doing, a lot of physiotherapy um and just finding different things to do with hula hoops that don't involve that. And that I think that's something that you really learn to do as a circus performer because if you can't do one thing, you're gonna find something else to do, So if I can't hula hoop on my body, I'll learn to juggle them, So I don't use my body, but I'm still learning some stuff.
That's
So
that's
yeah.
that's so smart. I never even would have thought of that. That's kind of cool that you can train. That's a cool way to like look at taking an injury and training, and taking it as a a direction, a direction into another path of learning something else. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So how many hula hoops have you hula hooped on your body all at once? Do you have a number? Like how
Uh, you
many?
know, I don't even know. Like, there's people who do the world records, where they do like the most amount of hoops around their body, but I was never really into doing like the big stacks of hoops. So I probably have tried to hula hoop with, I don't know, 60 or 70 hoops, but I don't even really think about it. Like the thing that I focus on the most is just the separation. So how many hoops can I have going on my body and separate and keep them there? Um, and yeah, which is like that's really difficult, so on in separations I can hold 7, um maybe 8. If I could probably try 8 and work that out, but around my middle just as a stack I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea.
That's amazing. 8 at a time. That's crazy. I can barely like control two. But that's awesome. So one of my questions is, how do you stay focused when you're performing in front of all these people? How do you keep your calm? How do you stay so like in your element? Like that would be so
Yeah, it's pretty hard actually. The only way how I can do that is by being super 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 rehearsed. So the only way, like, I'm a bit of a rehearsing maniac, like some people they perform and they have their act and it's they're like sassy and simple, and it's great, and they don't need to rehearse very much. But I literally, when I have a gig coming up and I know it's important, I'll try to run my routine as many times as I can and be prepared for any circumstances that might happen, like be prepared for you to arrive at the place and the floor is different than what you've been working on, and the light is a little bit different than you'd expected, so just sort of be prepared for any situation and make sure that you've practiced so many times that really as soon as you're out there and you're doing it, it doesn't really it doesn't really matter, and one thing that I always tell myself is just to have fun, because if I'm not having fun, then it's like it's a really shit job, it's like a really shit job to have if you're not having fun, because it takes so much work. So
Yeah.
tell myself that as well, just like, I love my job, it's the nicest job in the world. If you're not enjoying this, go do something else.
Yeah. That's the one thing I can definitely say about you especially is just any video I've ever seen you in, any live performance and anything I've ever seen you on stage, you just always look happy. And that's important,
Yeah,
I've
it
seen I've seen so many hoopers recently that they just have like the meanest faces on and they're not smiling. They don't look like they're having fun at all. And
yeah, yeah, you have to, you really have to have, you can pretend to be unhappy, but you still have to look great somehow,
yeah. So, do you have a favorite hoop you own? Do you have like a favorite hoop that has the best memory? I don't
Oh,
know.
I have so many. I actually am really quite detached from my hoops because I mean, because I travel a lot, so I base myself in Australia, but also in Europe. So I tend to only have like maybe 6 or 7 hoops with me that I use all the time, and then in each country I have different sets of like different colors and stuff like that. So I'm not so like all my hoops, whenever they're finished, like whenever I need new ones, because the tape has come off too much or they're bent, I just like either I give them away or I sell them to people for like no money, because I have too many hoops in my life, So um no, I don't really have a favorite hoop, but I have a favorite, like I get really into the colors and tape. Like, at the moment I'm really into this. Let me show you. So this is like my favorite tape at the moment.
Oh my God, I love that tape.
It's nuclear bubblegum tape. This is
Hmm.
actually is really special. Last year I was performing in Canada and there was a girl and she watched my show, and at the same event she was vending hoops and she gave me a hoop with this tape on it, and I was just like, wow, that's the most beautiful hoop I've ever seen. So I bought like 5 rolls of this tape and I made all my hula hoops in this tape because I just loved it. So
So you
yeah,
so you make your hula hoops, right?
actually, I use Polypro, and I get people to make them for me, and
Hmm.
then sometimes I tape them myself, or sometimes sometimes people like Dave and Lizzie from what's their company name again? There's 2 guys in Vancouver and they make really beautiful hoops. And they gave me a set of hula hoops last year, so then I'll use those, and then sometimes for my show that I use on the street, the hoops they wear out really quickly, so I get them made and then I just tape them myself because otherwise it's really expensive. But
Yeah.
I'm really bad at actually doing the cutting and measuring, so I just like other people to do that for me.
Yeah, actually, I make hula hoops. Besides starting this, I have a hooping company where I make them. So I've
Oh,
made
cool.
all of my hoops. Yeah. So since I first started hooping, I bought my first hoop and I bought another one, and then I decided that I should just make them. And they're actually a lot of fun, but you're right, they're a lot of work to make. There's so much work.
Yeah, it's for me. It's like I'm not neat enough, Like
Hmm.
I need like real precision and like
Hmm.
fine figure work, and I'm just like I don't have it.
I can tell you I like the fine precision work. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, but it does like really wear on my hand, and I'm left-handed. It's also my hoop hand, so like after I'm done taping a hoop, it's like I can't even use the hoop anymore because my hand's all sore.
Oh no.
So, do you have a favorite like venue that you performed at, or a favorite festival? Do you have like a
Um, Let me think. There's been quite a lot of really nice things that I've done that I look back on with a lot of happy memories. One of my favorite gigs in the last 2 years has been it's been a music festival called Rock in Rio, and it's in the first time I did it was in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and it's just like a large music festival. And they just have me doing my hula hoop act on a bunch of different stages. But I love doing that because I don't do very many music festivals. But when I go there, they kind of treat me a little bit like a rock star, and I love it, you know. So, and there's just loads of people. There's just loads of people there, and they have like all kinds of. They have music, but they have all kinds of different kinds of art on the street there. And it's just super fun to do it. I absolutely love it. And I get to go to places like Rio de Janeiro, and I did it in Portugal this year, and I'm going to do it in Las Vegas this year as well. So that's going to be really cool. And I love that gig because the people I work with are just great. And that's usually what makes a really nice gig is just having great people to work with.
yeah, definitely. That's awesome. I didn't even know that there was festivals down where in Rio de Janeiro. I don't
Yeah.
know. The big festival here is Burning Man, and I saw on your website that you've been there. And did you perform there, or did you just go
Yeah.
to?
Yeah, no, I went there. It was like really long ago. I'd only been hula hooping for like a year when I did that. Yeah, I did some performances there. I don't even know anymore. It's so long ago. But no, I loved it there. I had a really good time. It especially
Yeah,
was really cool because like not a lot of people in Europe were hula hooping at the time. You know, like there was circuit people doing circus hula hoops, but not so much in a more like commercial way that that you had in California. So that was really cool for me, and people had a really different style, you know. So I learned a lot of new tricks, and so yeah, that's kind of the main reason that I went, and I wasn't disappointed. So that was awesome.
yeah, that's awesome. Do you have a favorite move? Do you have like a favorite move that you like love to learn and love to perform that you're just that's your favorite move of all time?
Um, oh yeah, like I've got so many favorite moves. I think my favorite moves will have to be the moves that I always come back to, you know. So I'm really into like little hand flourishes and like twisting it and spinning it on the palm of my hand and just flourishing it with the palm of my hand because they're just moves that you can kind of do. You can practice them all the time or wherever you are, and you can just, if you're making a show, you can just slot them into loads of you know, you can slot them in everywhere, and they just look really pretty. And also, um, it kind of almost becomes like a nervous habit to get them completely perfect, you know. So I think that becomes part of having a signature style, having just something that you do so many times that you can't ever really mess it up.
Yeah. I have a really good question. How do you stay ahead of everyone? How do you keep your creativity such a pioneering and innovative as possible with all these people, like this huge burst of hoopers that I've seen recently on Instagram and Facebook, and this huge boom of like hoopers and celebrating it, and just saying this really overwhelming and loving community. How do you stay so focused and so driven to be a top tier?
I think one of the things that's really great about the hula hooping community, which is very different compared to, let's say, the circus community, is that everybody wants to share their tricks. Like when I'm in the circus community, it's really quite rare that you would share your tricks with people because people don't like one hula hooper doesn't want you to do the trick that they're doing, you know. So you could ask someone and they would say, "No, I'm not gonna show you how that goes because that's my trick," you know. And that's not like that in the hula hooping community. That everybody's really, really free to give anything that they like. And so because all of these tricks are being circulated around everybody freely, people can build on them and make them better. So that's why hula hooping's really evolved really quickly through the last 10 years because everyone's been so open about it. And that's something really amazing about hula hooping. So what I try to do is I try to be open about my tricks. I won't ever hold teaching a trick back from someone. The only time that I won't teach somebody a trick is because I think that they're not ready to learn it, because they need to do the steps before it.
Hmm.
And that's only with like multiple hula hooping skills. So, I mean, I don't do loads of hula hooping events, but I've been to hoop conversions in North Carolina, and I try to go to like a few hula hoop gatherings, like if I can, and just talk to loads of people, and just play together and come up with things, and just and never be arrogant, and take the time to listen, and take the time to take things in, and teach whatever you can to other people. And the other things I do, I love watching rhythmic gymnastics videos, so I do that a
Oh
lot. And
yeah.
99% of the things I'll never be able to do. But there's every now and then there's something in there, and you can and that I can watch and be inspired by it. So I do that
They're
too.
they're so amazing. I've actually seen a few of those videos cycling around in the last few days, and I
Oh,
just I, I just look at that stuff and I'm just like, it's unreal.
so unreal. I agree. It's so unreal.
So, I guess what was one of the hardest tricks or the most challenging for you to learn? Did you stumble on it? Like, did you just happen to like pick it up one day and then just weren't you know how you pick up a trick one time and you're not able to repeat it? So, what was one of
Yeah.
those that?
Um, so one of the hardest, yeah. Oh, there's been quite a few that have been really hard for me lately. Um, well, I'm always working on like super crazy hula hoop separations. So I'm like maybe I'm trying to get a seven split on my body really solid now. And like solid meaning that I can do it every single time whenever I want
Mhm.
to. So I think that's going to take me, I don't know, probably at least another year. And then there's things like uh, for ages, actually, I try to do this thing where I do what do I do? Like a standing split upside down, and the hoop is lying on the floor, and I throw it up over my leg, and then I stand up, and then I catch it. I've been practicing that for like, I don't know, at least 4 years, and this year I can finally do it. So I've been performing it a little bit.
I think
So
I saw it.
yeah,
I saw it with your Spin FX, your Phoenix hoops. I think I
yeah.
saw that trick. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it took me so bloody long to learn that trick. Yeah. So
Congratulations. That's amazing.
difficult to switch between them. training, you know. So I need to change over to loads of different genres because otherwise I just listen to the same things all over and over again, and I go absolutely crazy, and I end up hating it.
I
So.
definitely can, yeah, definitely. I understand that. So do you have like one particular song that whenever you hear it, you know exactly like, yes, I'm going to be hooping and this is like I'm practicing right now. Do you have a
Yeah.
song?
At the moment, it's a mix off YouTube called Female Vocal Dubstep 2015 Part 1. That's what, whenever I put it, I've been listening to it for the same one for like a week now.
Do you ever have moments of doubt and like just moments where you feel like you want to quit but you don't want to quit? Do you ever feel that way? Is it often? Is
Every
it
day.
like every day?
All the time. Like I can't even tell you how many of those moments I have. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So
I,
what keeps you going? What keeps you like doing what you do? What keeps you motivated and energized and
because when it's just hula hoop, like when I just have to continue hula hooping because I eventually get happy again, you know. But yeah, today I was rehearsing my routine and it was just so bloody difficult, and it just made me go, why the hell do I make things so hard for myself, you know? And then I just do it again. But yeah, I think it's pretty normal, you know. I just have to remember that it doesn't always stay like that.
just keep going and keep motivating and keep doing, keep
And
moving forward.
take breaks as well. Sometimes it's when it's too much, you just need to take a break. You know, take a little break and then continue when you feel happier, and it's fine. You'll be fine. It's gonna be okay.